Hello everybody, welcome back. Welcome to Switchcraft, and welcome to my first prediction video. Before we get started, I ask you to consider subscribing to this channel if you like what you hear and see so that you can get notified whenever I come out with the newest content. Now that that's out of the way, let's jump into what will probably be the most hyped product of the third quarter of 2018, the Game Boy Classic. How this prediction video will be different from all the others out there is that I'm going to come back to this video and film a follow-up critiquing all of my predictions and see how many of them I got right and how many of them I got wrong. I'll do this just as soon as it gets announced with any details. That's another reason I'm putting this up ASAP, just in case we hear anything about the Game Boy Classic and Nintendo's rumored January 2018 Direct. I'm making this video because of the multitude of batshit crazy prediction videos out there, with authors I believe just blurt out the craziest crap they can think of because they know no one is going to call them out months later when actual details get released. The predictions I've heard regarding the Game Boy Classic take the cake, and they're actually what inspired me to make this video. I've heard people predicting phantasmagorically stupid ideas, like the Game Boy Classic is going to come with a Game Boy printer, include the most obscure games, or even games that haven't even been localized. Stop, just stop. Here, I'm going to dive into what are my realistic predictions that have a hope in hell of coming true. We're going to talk hardware, and then we're going to talk software. Before I get into all that, I want to talk about why I believe the next console to be re-released as a classic version will be the Game Boy. This is primarily because of the patent renewal Nintendo made for the Game Boy on September 15, 2017. Now, that's not the only reason, because what you may not know is that they also filed a patent renewal for the Nintendo 64 brand as well in the summer of 2017. So, if they filed patent renewals for both systems, why do I think the Game Boy will be the first to be remade? Well, I'm also considering the success of the Nintendo Switch, and potentially 2018 being the last year you're going to see titles developed for the 3DS. What better way to send off the 3DS than by paying tribute by re-releasing a version of the Game Boy that essentially created the handheld gaming market as we know it. Additionally, I think the N64 Classic Mini will be more popular. I believe that Nintendo is going to ride the wave of the Switch having a killer second year, attempting to sell 20 million units according to their forecasts, and supplement that with the Game Boy Classic. In their third year, when they can devote more time, energy, and production power to a classic system, we'll see the N64. This will also give them more time to work together with Microsoft to iron out the details of including all of the classic Rareware titles that Microsoft now owns the license to. These include N64 Mini must-haves like Banjo-Kazooie, GoldenEye 007, Perfect Dark, Jet Force Gemini, Donkey Kong 64, and Diddy Kong Racing, amongst others. You're already starting to see some collaboration with Minecraft being released on the Switch. That being said, I'm predicting that you won't find any of the Game Boy titles made by Rareware on the Game Boy Classic. These include Donkey Kong Country, Perfect Dark, and a couple of Mickey racing games. Not quite the same draw as the N64 games, is it? Anyways, on to Game Boy Classic hardware predictions. While I would like to see the original form factor kept intact, I wouldn't be surprised if the new Game Boy Classic Mini would be a little thinner because of the built-in battery it will have. Gone are the days of 4 AA's. I believe that you'll see 3 ports on the bottom, because I also believe that the first classic console released by Nintendo that you'll be able to play in handheld mode will be the Game Boy Classic. You'll also might be able to plug it into a TV through an HDMI port. But if I had to pick between the two, gun to my head, I would say that it's more likely you're going to be able to play this thing in handheld mode only. Think of the mess that was the length of the controller wires with the NES Classic. Instead of that here, you'll likely have the same problem with the length of the HDMI wire. I think you'll also have a micro USB port on the bottom for charging and a headphone jack. As for the top, you'll have the traditional slide-on slide-off power button and a backlit grayscale screen. Expect everything else to remain the same. Now, one point that I wanted to mention is that if they did want to make this thing able to plug into a TV, they do have a lot of HDMI cables laying around from all of those unsold Wii U's. Anyways, as for the software, we have to talk about the operating system and then the games that'll be included. Operating system is easy. will have the same side-scrolling menu we've seen on the NES and SNES Classic, with the same games having save states that we've come to see in the Virtual Console and the 3DS. If it doesn't have a save state on the 3DS, the save state will not be an option in the Classic version. Instead, you can save files on built-in flash memory. As for the games included, I think that the Nintendo will split the difference between the NES and SNES Classic and include 25 games. And I'm going to wrap up this video right now with the games that I think have the best chance of being included. I've based these predictions on popularity, sales, and Nintendo's bigger picture, and have hopefully avoided making the mistake that other YouTubers have made and just stacked a list with a bunch of games that I played or would like to see. Number 1 is Tetris, because Tetris, the best-selling video game of all time, is a lock to make it onto this system. Number 2, and kinda number 3, is Pokemon Red and Blue. I would expect Wi-Fi support, as seen in the Virtual Console version of these games, to make catching them all actually possible. Number 3, we got Super Mario Land. Number 4, Super Mario Land 2 and the 6 Golden Coins. Number 5, we have Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. Number 6, Wario Land 2. Number 7, Kirby's Dream Land. Number 8, Kirby's Dream Land 2. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Number 10, F1 Race. Number 11, Yoshi. Number 12, Metroid 2 The Return of Samus. Number 13, Tennis. Not Mario Tennis, that was for the Game Boy Color, remember? Number 14 and 15 will be Final Fantasy Legend 1 and Final Fantasy Legend 2. Mega Man 5 is number 16. Number 17 is Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. Number 18, Harvest Moon. Number 19, DuckTales. Number 20, Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. 21, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan. Number 22, Gargoyle's Quest. Number 23, Motocross Maniacs. And number 24, Galaga and Galaxin. Now that was only 24, but 25 if you count the Pokemon games individually. But there you have it. Those 24 titles are the ones that I think will be included on Nintendo's Game Boy Classic that I predict will be released next late summer or early fall. That's of 2018. I only did 24 because, hey, even I don't know everything. What do you think of my hardware predictions and list of games? Did I miss something? Did I include something that you think is absolutely crazy? Either way, let me know in the comments below and stay tuned for when the Classic console gets announced so that you can see me rip apart this video. That's all for today, folks. Switchcraft out.